stand
We need
by.
to get
We'll be
down on the
going
court for a
in,
little
or
table
we'll be
down
coming
there.
in with the intro
That'd be nice.
as soon as we're done with the national anthem. We'll be coming out to 1. Remember, 1, when I say go, you'll start your pan to the left. And then 2, just give me a nice flavor shot of the cheerleaders. Flav shot.
Have that weave, girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now
That's what I learned from watching her play for
as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, which will be performed by the East Peoria.
Slow part.
I know.
Thanks, Jason. Isn't that nice? Okay, take their audio out, please. And our intro is rolling. Coming out to 1, stand by to do your pan 1. Start your pan on 1. Bring up their audio.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to East Peoria Raider basketball. Maroon and Gold night here in Allison Gym. We got the Eagles in town. The Dunlap Eagles are in town.
1, just give me a wide
Matt
shot.
and Ben ready to bring you the action today. The Lady Raiders successful just a little bit ago in one of these unique double headers. The ladies starting off the evening, guys finishing up the evening. Dunlap, East Peoria. We're ready to rock and roll from Allison Gym on a nice night outside.
Still on 1.
Smallish crowd here.
I got to tell you, this is kind of confusing for me. Being a Dunlap alum and now working East Peoria, the Maroon and Gold's just throwing me all kinds off. I don't know if I'm coming or going. Let's have a look at the standings here for the Middle Illini. There you see Dunlap currently in 5th place overall, 6-15 overall. Not a great record for Jeff Barker's squad, but 4-4 in the Middle Illini.
1. Can you start to zoom in?
There's our Raiders down at the bottom, tied with Canton, currently both 1-8 overall.
You're not on.
So the Raiders looking to move on up out of the basement.
Keep going.
The Eagles, visiting Eagles, will go with Austin Taylor, Clint Kaler, Evan Fairfield, Matt Sutton, and Elijah Clear to guard.
And on 1.
Well, Matt Wright squad will counter with Riley Close there.
Please.
Ian Milstedt. There's David Perkins.
Stand by 2.
David a little bit ahead of the game there. Here comes Brock Crippen. Brock coming off a nice game the other night. And Jacob Teagard, who had a huge game against IVC, including basically the de facto game winner, took a steal the length of the court and got a lay in there in overtime to put us up 49-47. So coming in with a little momentum here in this one, Matt.
It is. I'd be curious to see how Jacob carries that over. I think we've talked about the personality of some of these kids being just laid back, which is
hold that right there.
Nothing wrong with that, but that aggressiveness for him to be aggressive offensively is something that you want to see more. That's hard to convince a kid that doesn't necessarily want to always be the go-to guy to sometimes step up, be that go-to guy.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious to see how, if that's a spark for him, perhaps.
Stand by 2.
To be a little more aggressive.
Still on 2. Stand by 1 on 1.
Well, they won the tip, so that's a start.
In.
So the Raiders control. They're coming our way. Everything a little bit wonky tonight with locker rooms and what site everything starts. And there is Jacob Teagard with a start.
Ask and you shall receive.
What a touch on that.
Great little baby hook there.
Still on 2.
Back will come the other way.
1 on 1.
Kaler at the top of the key. They look that perimeter game that we see quite frequently for the Raiders. Up at the top is Taylor, and they continue to work that ball around the three-point line. Almost knocked away.
Stand by 2
it
on 2.
It is knocked away.
Stand by.
Milstead will go coast to coast. That was going to be an offensive foul because set up and waiting for him was Evan Fairfield.
Still on 2.
And that's our first foul of the ball game.
That was a nice job by Fairfield to get back and get set. That's not something a lot of kids think to do in that situation. Ian's just got to use his head a little bit there and look for a better shot.
So back the Eagles come now. Almost a minute into this one.
Still on one.
I like the intensity the Raiders are showing out of this 2-3 zone. They're very active. Both teams are very active on the defensive end.
Defensively, you're exactly right. A lot of movement,
Nice show by Teagard there to prevent the penetration. Nice tip there by David Perkins.
Stand by 2 on 2.
Almost came up with that.
Still on 2. Nice shot.
They tried to give it over to Cleary.
Stand by 1.
Comes to Kaler, and they set
still
up
on
one
2.
more
Stand
time
by 1
from the
on
top
1.
of the key. No penetration yet in the first minute and a half or so of this one.
The nice part about 2-3 zone is as you play it more, you learn kind of how to cut the angles down and all that fun stuff.
Stand by 2 on 2.
3-point shot up and
still
long,
on 2.
and there's Teagarden up strong
still
and
on
high
2.
for that rebound.
Still on it.
Back
Stand
will come
by
the other way to
one.
Milstead.
By far the tallest player on the floor, too, so he's got to look to establish himself early and have a big night. I don't think they have anybody that can answer his size.
As soon as Ian threw that, knew that was trouble.
Stand by 2
back
on
the
2.
other direction.
And there's Jake with a block and a recovery.
Still on 2.
Boy, Caleb
still
looked
on
like
2.
he had a good look.
Follow him all the way in the drive. Stay on 2.
Teagarden coming down. That's going to be a foul. That doesn't
Thank
go, but that's going to be on Dunlap, their first foul of the ball game.
And I don't know if you saw that, but Jacob Teagarden was up high to snatch that board down,
1
too.
2 is clear.
Fouling Matt Sutton, his first, team first.
Stand by 2 on 2. Foul information.
Ian Milstead
please.
now at the line.
Well,
Stand by 1
draw those fouls,
on
this is
1.
something again. East Pierce looking for ways to make
Stand
points.
by 2 on 2.
How you can do it. Get to that free throw line. That requires that penetration, though. So reliant sometimes on some of those perimeter shots. Nice to see the drive.
Absolutely.
Stand by 1 on 1.
Second one up and true, 2 for 2. Nice start from the charity stripe.